Aw, shit. Here we go again.
Welcome to the Sloppy Book Club podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Celise. And welcome to season 3, episode 3. Woo woo. On this week's episode, we are going to be reviewing a ton of Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month books.
You got it. Well, not reviewing, we're just recommending.
Yes,
these are books we recommend.
Yeah, because there's a lot. And I'm going to say the majority of it is because of Jenny. She's amazing at being really diverse in her reading.
I try.
And she has a lot of great recommendations. And I have a few. I didn't do too bad myself. But
these are just books from this year, 2023, just the diverse books that we read so far.
Yes.
Right?
If we did all 3 years of podcasting that we have on our Instagram, that would have been probably too long. We would have probably had to do it in parts.
Yes.
So this is all our reads of 2023 so far, because obviously we're not going to stop just because, Latinx Hispanic Heritage Month ended. We're going to continue it.
Yeah, as usual.
As usual. So we have a ton of different genres. We have romance, dark romance, fantasy, dark fantasy, thriller, horror, and fiction.
Yeah.
Nice little blend of everything.
I know. I like it though. Yeah. I like that we read all across genres.
Really
yeah.
I know you're very intentional about it. I try my best.
I try. I really do.
I'm a type of person that I'm like, oh, someone reviewed something that sounds interesting, and I'll just swipe it up.
I know. I get into like moments where like nothing but fantasy like book talkers or bookstagrammers keep popping up. So I'm like, oh, I'll add that. And then I'm looking at my list like it's all fantasy, but what if I change my mood? So then I start looking at other genres. So that's how I end up reading so many different ones.
Yep, especially with like Spooktober and all that, and your thrillers and horrors. You have been reading a lot of good ones so far.
Yeah, real good ones. You know what I have trouble finding though? I found one so far and I haven't read it yet. It's Dark Academia for a Latinx author.
So
I cannot find any.
Put it in our inbox, please. DM us. We're always looking for good recs. So if you have any,
I have I think what's it called? If We Were Villains or All of Us Villains, something like that by Emma Rio. And I think she's Brazilian. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I read it somewhere and I can't find it anywhere now. So, but I think she's the only Dark Academia.
Okay.
Latinx author. Yeah.
I haven't heard of it, but it sounds familiar.
I bet you have. I think it's If We Were Villains or All of Us Villains. And I have the book.
You're right. I have heard of that. I have. The author's name doesn't pop up, but the title of that book does.
Yeah. So let me know. Please.
Yeah. Send those recommendations. Please, please, please. We're always looking for them. How do we want to do this? By genre and just go down the list? Okay.
Yeah, let's just go down the list, each one, and then that way it'll stay organized and I can write like each title on like our YouTube or whatever so people can see it.
Perfect.
All right. So let's start with romance. One of our
favorite
longest lists.
Yeah, it is.
So the first one on my list is After Hours on Milagro Street by Angelina and Lopez, who I love, love, love. We met her this year at a Polycon and she's super duper sweet.
Is she going back?
No.
No.
And she just released a new book, which I'll be reading. Okay. But so yeah, this one is basically an insta lust, goes into slow burn and then spicy. You can find all of these reviewed on our Instagram, so we're not going to get into what they're about, just like a little bits and pieces about it. Cool.
Just like tropes and just what to expect when you're reading it.
Oh, And check your triggers.
Yes, please
We
do.
always
For
forget
all
that.
books.
All books.
All books. Because we do forget sometimes to put it in our review, but please check
Yeah.
triggers either on the author's website or before you read the book. Just do your due diligence.
Yes.
Our next one is Wedding Crashers by Mia Sosa. She is someone we also met. She's wonderful. This is a fake dating, funny, witty, spicy, great banter, and one bed trope. So if you're into that kind of thing, I would suggest reading that.
I was surprised by how much I actually liked that one.
I love that one.
Yeah, it was
I
cute.
really enjoyed that book. It was so cute.
It took me like a whole year to read it after you, but it was it was good.
I've been doing the same thing with your recommendations. I'm like, I have to go back and read some of these books Jenny has talked about because she's never been wrong about a good book rec. So I have to go back. And I'm so happy. And up next, Learn to Love You by Jade Hernandez is one that you recommended. And I was just like, I have to like see this. And this was full of spice. There was praising the friends to lovers. It was so
Isn't
good.
it so damn good? Like I still think about the main characters of this book. Still, and I read it early this year.
I want more. Because
I can't wait.
I kind of can see like what sister will be in relationship with who, kind of. And I just want to know if I'm right or wrong. And it's just like, oh, so good.
So that book, I think it's going to be like 4 or 5 series. So each sibling is getting a book. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
And it's all romance, which is my favorite.
So the next one we have is also by the same author, Jade Hernandez. And this one's called Ink, and it's an MC romance. So it's a motorcycle romance. It's short, dirty, spicy, dark. Check your triggers. This could actually be under the dark romance, but I felt like it was a little bit more like sweet romance rather than dark romance. So
nice. But it's like a good little mix of both.
It's a good little mix, yes.
Sounds good. You have the next one.
Oh, I do have the next one. My bad. All right, so the next two are by the same author, and that's Priscilla Oliveras, and that's West Side Love Story and Kiss Me Catalina, both in the same series. Yes, and I love how these authors are just doing standalone series with like the families involved. Yeah, so both of these are like music romances. They're part of a mariachi band. The first one is like a Romeo and Juliet retelling. The second one isn't a retelling, it's just a regular contemporary romance. But they're super sweet and I love them.
They sound really, really good.
They are.
You have the next one too.
God damn.
You're gonna be having a lot.
All right, so my next one is by Emery Lee, and that's Café con Lychee, and that's a YA rom-com with like rival families. One does like Spanish food, one does like Asian drinks, and they're basically rivaling, and the two children are involved in a way.
Really, really cute. So back to me. A Proposal They Can't Refuse by Natalie. I want to say Cana or Cana.
Cañas. Yeah.
This was one of my favorites. It was funny, heartwarming, sad, spicy, just really good. I heard it on Audible, and the narrator just like held my attention. She made it even better, and I love a good narration because it's really hard to like connect to characters sometimes when you're just listening to it. And this was a really good one. I just love the grandfathers in this one because they kind of like blackmail the characters.
Oh my God.
So it was so
it tracks.
But I loved it. They were super adorable. Check it out. Check your triggers though.
Yes. All right. So my next one is Big Chicas Don't Cry by Annette Chavez Macias. And this is it's basically centers around an entire family and mainly cousins and how easily they can be torn apart after like growing up together and being so close. So it deals with grief and like family drama. Yeah.
This
It's
one
okay.
is on my TBR,
Yeah.
and
It's
I'm
a little
jealous.
emotional. Just it's so like, you know how we grow up
I-
very close to family and our
Yes,
cousins and stuff. So it's
especially
pretty
cousin.
much, yeah,
Yeah,
you'll
I know
feel it.
I'm gonna cry. I
Yeah,
already
you
know.
will.
I already know. My next one is Too Soon for Adios by Annette Chavez Macias.
Same author, yes.
Oh yeah, it is. I didn't even
Could have
notice
saved
that.
yourself the trouble.
I know.
That's
Oh,
funny.
that's so funny. This one centers around grief, forgiveness, embracing new beginnings, and finding romance in the midst of it all. And this was a really good one too. I guess she's like
Awesome.
that emotionally like triggering, like pull at your
Yep.
heartstrings kind of writer. And it was
Yeah.
this one I listened on audiobook too, and it was really good.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
what?
me too. It's You
Oh,
Had Me
yeah.
at Hola by
Yes.
Alexis Daria. Um, this one is like a rom-com meets soap opera meets telenovela. So
Mm.
you get a little glimpse into like their acting, which is really cool. Like you get the script basically and you read it as they're doing it. So it was really different. I enjoy this one. It was cute. And yeah, it just centers around, it's a dual point of view. So you get both characters. And it was good.
Yeah. Good. I
Mhm.
read a novella from hers before. It was like a witchy one. And I
Oh,
thought it was really cute. It was sometime last year, but you
mhm.
might like it. I thought it was cute. I just don't know if like it was connected to any of her other books,
No,
but I
there was
don't
no
know.
witchy vibes. It's very rom-commy.
Very rom-commy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the last one we have for romance is A Night at the Tropicana by Chantel Cleaton. And this was a short story. Basically, two people meet for like this one magical night together in Cuba. And 40 years later, they run into each other again. It was super sweet. I
Sounds
didn't expect the ending, but it was cute. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds really, really
It
good.
was, and it
I
was
always
only
want
like
to go to
70
Cuba.
pages. I know.
I want to go there so bad. Because there's no like McDonald's and stuff, you know? Like
That's
it's very
funny.
authentic, I feel like.
Yeah.
It
We don't
hasn't
have
been,
like real authentic food, or at least a huge variety of them
yeah.
here. So, but
All right, now getting into some dark romance.
dark romance. This is a very short list this year for Latinx authors. All three of mine, same author. So this is H.D. Carlton, and she's got three: The Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline, which is a stalker romance. And well, the second one's a little bit more than a stalker romance. I felt
Yeah.
like it was beyond that. You can just go read my review. And then Does It Hurt? And that's basically they're stuck on an island together. It sort of gives like a paranormal vibes, but it's not.
Okay.
I
See,
can't really spoil it because,
yeah.
you know.
We
But
don't
check your
want
triggers because those are very triggering.
ay.
Yeah.
Dark romances scare me sometimes.
I love them.
It's funny because there's like this new show coming out where I guess it was a kidnapper like took these two girls and she winds up breaking free. I think it's her and her sister. And then when she gets older, she becomes like a detective and she captures her kidnapper and keeps him in her house and he helps her find like missing people that are
Oh,
kidnapped. And it's a new show coming out and I feel like
okay.
it's the vibes of it. I was like, I feel like the dark romance girlies are really gonna like it.
Don't
I
you
don't
view
know.
like most shows like that now?
Yeah,
Like, where would this fall under our genres?
right. Don't you look at shows sometimes like that? Like, well, what if
Yeah.
it's from a book? I would
Hmm.
I wouldn't mind it.
I'm always like, I wonder if this was a book first. So I'm like Googling.
But yeah,
Oh,
it gives me like dark vibes that I'm just like, I don't know. It seems a little fishy between the two of them.
yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
You have to let me know if you watch it.
I will. I will. I have to watch at least the first episode because from the trailers it looks really good. All
Yeah.
right, getting into fantasy now.
So my first one is A New Era by Marilu Moser, and that is sort of like a mafia boss of reapers. So it's a fantasy. She's a reaper, and she works for like the head honcho type reaper, but
Okay.
it's very much mafia boss type book. The next one, same author. It's a novella called Gargoyles Cupid, and that's basically a gargoyle fantasy. Yes, a gargoyle fantasy. And he is a
I like
stone
it.
at first.
I like it.
Yeah, it's nice. The next one I have is by Nicolette Elsie. I have book 1 and 2, A Curse of Tooth and Claw and A Curse of Blood and Bone. I believe the third one just came out, but I haven't read it. And it's a retelling of the Bear Prince. It's like a Mexican folklore.
Oh, nice.
I like it. It's very high fantasy.
Right.
My next one is Last Sunrise in Eterna, and I absolutely love this one by Amparo Ortiz, and it's an elven fantasy set in Puerto Rico, and it has like an extra fictional island on the side, and it's really cute. I like it a lot. Let's see this next one. So this next one I liked. I didn't love. It's The Witch and the Vampire by Francesca Flores. It's a sapphic YA fantasy. And this one, my biggest gripe with it was I didn't feel the connection between the two main characters. But otherwise, the story was good. If you can if you can look past that, I think you would enjoy it.
That's kind of how I felt a little bit about You Had Me at Hola. It was just like there was a secret within the story that we all knew about, but the female main character didn't. And the secret was just like that's not something you hide. And it kind of upset me. But yeah. So that's what frustrated me throughout the whole story. It's just like, tell her. So that's
It
about
sounds like a miscommunication trope, which I
kind
am
of
not a fan of
yeah.
at all.
Because that
This
always
one's not
ended
like,
like
well,
that.
actually, no, this one does have a huge miscommunication trope, and maybe that's why I was so like, I don't know how
Oh,
I feel about that.
yep, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't
I
even
would do
think about
that.
that.
I would do
Okay.
that.
All right, so my next one, it's an anthology if you're into that, and it's bound by magic, and it has, I think, 8 authors, and 4 of them are Latinx. So it's a
Nice.
mixture of authors, but it's a really cute story. A lot of them I liked. But yeah, it was good.
Nice. Our next one is another recommendation from you. It's The Sun, the Storm, and the Shadows by Michaela Hornedo. Hornedo? I know you're gonna laugh at me.
That's
Stop.
funny. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. It's Ornedo.
Okay. Yeah, it has fated mates, multiple point of views, BIPOC main characters, and Mayan mythology, which is very new to
Yes.
me, and I liked it.
It was so good, wasn't it?
Yes,
I
I
really
loved
like
it,
that. It's
and
so different.
I need book two. I need book
Yeah.
two. It was really, really good. I loved it.
So
Which
the
you
next one
a little
is book
bit.
2. I just finished it sometime last week, and it was even better than the first one. You learn a lot from where the first one left off. You get a lot of
Okay.
questions answered, so it was really, really good. I enjoyed it a lot. It was almost perfect in every way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love when a
Yeah.
second book
It was
does that.
emotional, it was spicy. I just the drama, one of
Mhm.
the characters, like one of the main
I
ones,
really
like it's like
love these characters.
yeah.
Like, I love all 4 of them. They are
Mhm.
just so good. And like the couples together are just so I love it.
I know, it's so good. You could feel them. You could feel the love. You
Yes,
could feel the spice. You could feel
yes,
the tension, like everything. She did a
yeah.
good job.
She did an amazing job. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for book 2. All right, next up for me is Triton's Academy by Alira Anaya Saris.
Hmm. Yeah.
It's book 1 in the Daughter of Triton series. It's a why choose multiple point of view fantasy. Definitely check your triggers because you do get the point of view of like the bully. So just check your triggers. I enjoyed it. I want to continue the series. So it's really good. And it's a why choose, which is I don't usually read a lot of them, but I enjoyed it.
I'm a fan. I'm a
I
fan of
know.
Why Choose.
Mhm.
So my next one is A Chorus of Ashes and Shadows by Melissa Caribbean. And this is book 2 in the series. And it's a pirate siren fantasy sapphic. It's really good. Loved it. I think I like the first one a lot better than the second one, but the
Okay.
second one's still pretty good.
Nice.
The Name Bearer by Natalia Hernandez, and that is basically set in like this made up world, but it's more like a Guatemalan.
Mhm.
Jesus. It's set in like a Guatemalan world, but it's an inventive world. And it's a fantasy, it's sapphic, cute. I liked it. I haven't read the second one. I just bought the second book, but
I
I need
haven't
to
read
get
the
back to
second one
it.
either, but the first one was really good. I enjoyed it a
Yeah.
lot.
They're super short too.
Mhm.
I love.
Was a fast read.
Hmm.
All right, dark fantasy.
All right. So for dark fantasy, the first one I have is Worthy of the Raven by Y.L. Zamora, and that's a Mulan retelling. But I feel like it's more of like it takes bits and pieces from Mulan rather than like a
Okay.
retelling or reimagining because it doesn't follow the story at all. But you
Okay.
do feel it as you're reading it. But that is a grim dark fantasy. It's very, very gory, bloody, murderous fantasy. It's really good. I liked it.
Good.
And then the next 3 that I have on that list is all by the same author, Harmony Han, and that's Unforgivable Sins, Beastly Lies and Beautiful Legends, and Zero to Hero. They're all retellings, Peter Pan, Beauty and the Beast, and Hercules.
I
And they're
really
all
want to
dark.
read the Hercules one.
Yeah.
Next up is Queen and Conqueror and Lady of Estoc by Isabel Olmo. These are high fantasy, multiple point of views, enemies to lovers, spice, magic, action, beautiful world building. What am I missing?
It's the most amazing fantasy, and you
That
should
too.
just go read it. If there's
Yes.
anything on this list that you will listen to us
Mhm,
for, it's
mhm.
this series.
I
100%.
definitely agree because you were telling me to read this, and I read the novella, both the books in a weekend, and you were like, "You are insane. I can't believe you did that."
It's so good. So
It
good.
is
And would you recommend the novella too? Like
yes,
I said the novella and then the
yes,
other 2?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Because
The-
it kind of like sets up both books in its own way. And it was just
Yeah.
I
They were
think about
just
this book.
perfection.
I think about the both of these books so much that I'm like waiting and waiting for book 3.
Hmm.
And every time she's like, online or doing anything, I like check in to see if
Yep.
I can get any glimpses into like book 3 because
Yep.
it's
So exciting.
it is
She just finished her full first draft. So I'm just like, I went into her live, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I
or the
don't
day
remember.
before. Yep.
Yeah, so I went into it and I was like, I love seeing you work. She laughed and then I just got off. Because
No,
I needed her finished.
I need
So
it.
good.
I need it.
Yeah, agreed.
So good. All right, the
All right.
Riddlers. Oh no, you
So
have a
let's
dark
see.
fantasy. What the river knows.
Oh, I don't know why I put this under dark fantasy because it is not a dark fantasy, it's a regular fantasy. And so it's What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, and it's a mummy retelling. So read it. I love the mummy. It's good. I love it. It's young adult, but it's sort of like, I think it teeter-totters on new adult a little bit. Some scenes that I was like, oh, okay. So
To be
definitely
yeah.
check your triggers. So the next one we have is thriller. We only have one on this list.
I'm
so
sorry.
We need some more. No, it's not even that.
Yeah,
like,
it's not like
more
it's not that I don't want to. I want to read more thrillers, but and horrors and like suspenseful books. It's just hard to find one that I would like, or like I feel like it's not my For You page. Like the algorithm is that algorithming for me in those aspects.
Algorithming. Oh my God. So the one that I have on here is actually a psychological thriller, and it's River Woman, River Demon by Jennifer Givan, and it pretty much deals with grief, death, has some brujeria and hoodoo in it. It's not fantasy, but it sort of reminds me of La Llorona, because there are scenes with water and like sort of not spirits, but spirits. I can't really dive into further with that because it would probably spoil the book. But it's a really good book. I enjoyed it a lot. Good. So yeah.
Our one thriller.
Our one thriller. If you have thriller recs with Latinx authors, please let us know.
Yes.
Because I've read more thrillers than that. It's just this is the only one this year by Latinx author. All right. Horror. I've had a lot of fun with horror this year, or the last couple months. So the first one I have is Tender is the Flesh by Agustina Basterica, and this is a cannibalism horror. It's not scary. It's not scary at all. It's just very cringy and high tension. Yeah. If you're ever gonna try horror, try this one.
Really?
Like if you don't want to be scared.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to be
because I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'm like desensitized to horror. So I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe don't try it. I don't know. You choose.
You're like, you decide.
You decide. Read the triggers. Then I have Piñata by Leopoldo Gout, and this is a possession horror. This one's spooky for sure because it deals with children as well.
Oh,
those are those are the scariest ones for me. If there's children involved in horror, I'm scared for sure.
Especially with the kids laughing in the background. Ooh, scary.
I feel that. The next two are by Yolanda Olson. I don't have reviews up for this. If you've listened to any of our other episodes where we've briefly mentioned this author, we can't. We can't recommend it because we feel like they're very rough to read. Is that I don't know.
If there's any author, you need to check your trigger warning and like really, really check them. This is that author.
Yeah. Like check them. Do not go in blind. No, if anybody tells you to go in blind to any of her books, don't do it. Don't listen. Don't be dumb. Read the triggers. And I would say even beyond that, look at other bookstagrammers and other book talkers who have read it and actually like listen to what they have to say about it. But do not go into it blind. The fact that you
read more than one of her books still blows my mind.
I told you, it's like a guilty pleasure.
I only needed to read one, and that was enough for me.
What I really want to do is read book 2 of that first one we read.
No, absolutely.
But I'm actually scared to read it. They're not scary books. They're not scary at all. They're horror because they deal with things that you don't even think about.
No.
just like there's so many scenes that you're just like, what the fuck
Yeah,
just
basically.
happened? Like I got nauseous
Yeah,
with one
I was
scene.
physically sick.
Yeah.
And
So
then I
if
would tell Angel, and he's like, "Why are you reading that?"
we actually did an episode on it, right? First
Um,
season? I think we did. We didn't do the episode
no,
on
no, we decided not to.
oh,
I think we both read it, and when we went to like review, we were like, maybe we
maybe
shouldn't.
we shouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
So these two books I wouldn't say I recommend,
but you
but if
read.
you're into like crazy stuff like that after looking up the triggers, go for it because she is a really good writer and I like the way she writes. I like the
Yeah,
flow of her books, but it's just the content of the books are very cringy. Very,
yes.
very, very cringy.
But
Like
she's
rough.
really a really great writer. Her
She
writing is
is.
really good,
Hmm.
but the content of what she is writing is rough.
It's rough. Very, very rough. Like
Mhm.
you will get sick to your stomach, but
Ugh.
read at your own risk.
And it's vivid.
Very. You're closing your eyes. No. Did I put
No.
that image back into your head?
Yes, you did. It's almost like there's certain things that like will trigger like certain memories. And with her, you seen Hereditary? That
I think
movie?
I have. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure it sounds familiar, but
There's a car scene.
maybe not.
Maybe not. Well, I'll do this
Nothing's coming.
off
Yeah.
camera. I'll let you know.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Moving on. Our last one for horror is Labyrinth Lost by Zoraida Cordova. And this is actually a witchy horror book. It's
Mhm.
very mild. It's not scary. It's more along the witchy side of horror. Yeah.
All right. Fiction, which is our last genre.
Mhm.
And we only have one, two, three, four, possibly five, because I do want to mention one. But yeah, this is fiction. So first up is Ander and Santi Were Here by Johnny Garza Villa. It's a YA fiction with a non-binary main character. This is LGBTQ plus I said it wrong, didn't I?
All good. LGBTQ.
I thought I said Q.
You didn't say the B.
I always, why do I miss the B?
I don't know.
I'm sorry. But it's beautiful. It has beautiful representation. It's very pride forward and positive, and there's a lot of acceptance, which I really loved. Like between the family, you're emotionally invested in the characters, and this was just like a really good work of fiction. It was really
Oh,
nice.
nice.
It was like it really tugged at my heartstrings, and I find that we don't find a lot of books with the family being so accepting. So it was nice refresher of that, and it was just refreshing. It was really good.
That is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. So I have The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, and that's a very short fiction. It's written in verse, and I actually listened to this one because my favorite thing in the world is listening
Okay.
to in verse poets, especially when they're narrating their own work.
Mm-hmm.
It was beautiful. I loved it. And this, who's the other author? Elizabeth Velasquez. She wrote When We Make It. I got the same feeling from hers, and hers was narrated by herself. So,
And just before you go to your next one, I have Clap When You Land by the
mm,
same author, and it almost because I'm listening to it on audio, and it almost feels like poetic, like the way it's like narrated is so beautiful, and it's really good. It's about two sisters that don't know that they're sisters. There's a tragic accident that happens between their father, and then that's kind of how they find out about each other, kind of thing.
mhm.
It's really good. same author, and it's interesting that you say that because it almost reads as like a big poem kind of thing, especially the way like they describe their aunt or their mother, different like situations within the book is just
Yeah.
really, really good. She's
Did
a
she
great
narrate
writer.
it herself?
You know what? I'm not sure.
She probably did. I bet she did.
It's really good. I'll look it up while you talk about the next
Yeah.
one.
So my next one is Under This Forgetful Sky by Lauren Yarrow. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to put this under fantasy or fiction. It's
Okay.
dystopian. And it doesn't deal with magic, but they create things in order to make a sort of cure. So I guess you could kind of lead that towards like there's no witches, but it's
A little
almost like
bit.
making spells, but it's really like a cure. But it's really good. And then my last one is Familia by Lauren Rico, and I 100% love this book so much. And it's about
Yes,
this woman who went to Puerto Rico because she got in her DNA test that she has a sister, and yeah, but it's really good.
I remember. So how do you know if she narrated it?
It should be on the like if you got it on Audible, it should say
Yeah.
narrated by, like right under the title.
Oh yeah, it is
By her, yeah.
by her
I
and
figured.
Melania Luisa Marte. So it's two, and it is a novel in verse. So yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I just started listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is like very poetic. And I'm just listening it, and I'm on like some parts feel like a big like TED Talk kind of thing, like vibe, and I'm
I
like,
love that.
amazing. And I've
Mhm.
just been listening to it on the way to work, and it's been amazing. It's a really good book. I can't
Yeah.
wait to finish it
I'll
because
add it to my list.
yes, I'm
Awesome.
like at the edge of my seat sometimes, like, oh my God, what's good? But it's really good. Kind of sad.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was all of them.
That was it.
Wow.
We
That was a
went through
lot.
it. I know. That wasn't bad.
It wasn't. We did
No, not at all.
good. I mean,
You did good. Good
look at
good
us.
job keeping it short and sweet.
I did. I tried. I've been trying, reeling it in, even though I still make my mistakes, but hey,
It's all good.
it's fun times here at the Sloppy Book Club.
Yes. Well, that was fun. Thank you for joining. Just remember, if you have any dark academia books with Latinx authors, please send them our way because I've been searching.
So please do that.
Thank you.
And if there's an author that you want us to read and you have any nice book recommendations, please send them our way. We love reading from diverse authors and BIPOC authors. So send those recommendations.
And clearly every genre
Yeah,
because we have it all.
we do. I'm proud of us. Good
No.
job. Good job,
Yes.
team.
Yay.
We're a
All
good
right.
duo. All right. Bye.
Bye.